Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indiana Esports Network. It's Overwatch 2026 playoffs. We've got an exciting best of five as we are just into round one of the playoffs. But before we get into all that exciting action, I've got to introduce the handsome man to my digital right, Orbital. How are we feeling, my friend?
We're feeling all right, excited to be here, and of course with some chaos to unfold. We're here in the Division AAA side of things, and I know the teams are more than ready to go. We got what I lovingly refer to as the play-in stage, with 4 teams across 2 matches duking it out to try and face off against the top seeds of the 1 and 2 positions, and that's what it's all about. So it is 8th versus 9th and 7th versus 10th. We'll only be seeing one of those here today, though, and again, I am very excited to see it.
Hey, pretty similar record, so hoping for a banger that goes all the way to that 5th map. But before we get into all that action, we want to give a huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for supporting Scholastic Esports right here in Indiana. And you too can show your appreciation to Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media. So make sure that you join their community Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtags powered by Zotac or hashtag Zotac USA when you make that post.
Yeah, especially since you know these playoffs are going to be hot and heavy. You know these matchups are going to be a little bit chaotic, and that's kind of the fun of it as well. We know a lot of changes have recently come into Overwatch, and that's been the kind of that mainstay position is things are a little chaotic right before playoffs. This is a big time to shift things up, maybe use it to your advantage. If there's ways to shut down an opponent that you didn't have before, well, now you can go into it. New heroes, new abilities, some of that new shift in value in there. So I really do hope these teams take advantage of it, because whichever team comes out here, the Red Devil Esports Overwatch squad or the Pike squad here, I believe, are the twos that we're watching. They will have to face off against the #1 seed of Indiana Digital Learning, the squad that is currently sitting in the first seed position, waiting for the winner of this match.
I certainly don't envy the winner, but hey, we all love a great underdog story. And
Yep.
I mean, it's a best of 5. We're guaranteed at least 3 of these wonderful maps starting off on Busan. I tend to be an enjoyer of those payload styles, so I'm looking forward to map 2 on Gibraltar. But I mean, Busan's been a staple, a classic, right, for
Yep.
Overwatch since the beginning. So I imagine both these teams very, very comfortable here. I think we're going to get a little bit of a test to see exactly what kind of compositions are going to be running, because more often than not at the scholastic level, it's not always about that meta, it's about that comfortability.
Yeah, and that's the difficult part. I think obviously when you're still rigid in terms of double DPS, double supports into one tank, there's not as much flexibility as you would like. But with the introduction of multiple heroes, with the introduction, especially a jetpack cat, there have been some instances where we do get to see a little bit of that flexibility, that ability to play a little bit more stylishly like you like. I've seen a lot of teams actively looking to try and split the opponents up, make sure you don't brawl as heavily. The side split action of a solo DPS can create way more chaos now that these utility supports are much more mobile. They can cover a lot more of the map as well. At the same time, we still see a lot of teams actively liking staying in a group, bundling up. You know, we've seen the Malga tanks come back into a lot of that forefront. We see a lot of them like running a lot of that cage value and then going for the major wombo combos. This ability, as you said, to feel comfortable in the heroes that you are going to play will be the star factor if we want to see it win.
Yeah, and I'm loving the new heroes. I mean, I think Mizuki's great. It kind of reminds me of when Moira first came out. It could not only do a ton of heal, but supplement quite a bit of damage as well. Onron with the flames is just a very fun character to play. Domina, I think, is a tank that some comps have had trouble dealing with. So, in the past, in some of my other leagues, I've seen Domina kind of been a top band there as well. But obviously, some of those staples are still known and loved. I think Zarya is another tank that a lot of, especially at this classic level, some teams have trouble dealing with. Do we shoot that bubble and instantly burst her down, or
Yep.
try at risk of giving her that full charge? So for me, I'm always interested to seeing what compositions that we're going with, and do those compositions change as not only we change maps, styles, whether it's payload or control as well.
Yeah, I think they will change over time. One of the things I always like to say is, maybe not at the scholastic level, but definitely at the collegiate, it's all about how flexible you are and are you willing to
Yeah.
play chess with your opponent. Now, you can play chess in multiple ways. You can adapt to the opponent, you can learn their tendencies and use it against them, or you play your own style, and those are two very different things at the end of the day. So, are we going to see those swaps, or are we going to see teams actively push the other into an uncomfortable position? That's what we're really watching for. You can already see some of those unique picks here. Soldier 76. We got a Zenyatta from Pluto, a wild one, kind of out of left field, and then Ice Cream, of course, on that Reinhardt, and then the May coming out for Dino Lover as well. Little bit of a difference there for the Red Devil Esports squad.
I mean, I'm a little biased. I do love Zenyatta. I think Sigma has been amazing lately. We see a lot of Sigma here as well. So maybe a battle of the shields here on the front line. Ryan can be one of those tanks that's a little bit difficult to navigate unless you've got a solid squad behind you as well. But we've seen this May kind of cut off some of that. Maybe separate that tank out from the rest of the pack. Find an early pick and see if you can give your team that player advantage.
Well, right now, quick little tempered start here, and it's a little slow start. I think for the Red Devil Esports side, whenever you have a Reinhardt, you move slow and you make sure you're together. You take out that utility like we're seeing right now. For the flip for Pike, you are looking to try and burst your way in as best as possible. It's tank v tank situation, but there's the mark of one. Ice Cream able to knock out Foxy, and Elder able to do even more with the Soldier 76. That hit skin is doing wonders. Ice Beam on the other side. Nice pinch against the wall by Ice Cream. It's two-piece combo and gives space for the Red Devil squad to go ahead and lock down that point, or at least I thought so. Slimy's able to fight back, and it's still a contested point.
And hanging on for just a little while longer here. We see nobody's really unlocked that point just yet. Limey putting in some good damage, but it is Soldier, to shoot her out of the sky. Ice Cream will find Foxy, and without that tank here on the side of Pike, they're most likely going to want to take a deep breath, reset, regroup, and look to push together.
Top side, quick shots here. This is, once again, that chance for the Soldier 76. I will say, with Emery now being introduced a little bit more, it is a shift in priority. A lot of people have seen, but this is going to be that chance. A little bit of a beam coming out here. As you can see, only Reaper is saying, I got this. Don't worry, guys. I know how to play. Same on the flip. There we go. Pluto bringing out some of the new heroes as well. Quick chain and root down to the ground, and this 1v1 ain't going in your favor. Pluto wins out quite handedly. This is still Red Devil Esports on full control, 33% and climbing.
Yeah, Richmond doing a great job. They are that slightly higher seed 8 versus the 9 here. We talked about how evenly they're matched, but it's Outer combined with Dino, and they end up getting the 2-piece. Foxy will fall as well. Tank v Tank. Ice Cream has found it, and Outer again not slowing down on the Soldier. You look at the ult economy here, and it favors the Red Devils as well. They've got a chance to stagger out maybe 2 and 2, and realistically 2 more fights is all they need to win here to shut this down.
Well, this is going to be that, as you said, those 2 fights, but it could just be a one quick one. Multiple ults coming out here. Outer with that visor saying, I got all the shots necessary if need be, but quickly pinch out of that fight. Instead, it's Dino Lover ready to go with that Blizzard if they can. Answered back on the side, though, as Pike lose their support in the back line. Quick revive on the end, but Foxy hammers it home. Ice Cream looking the other way. This is disaster, it feels like, for Pike, as they throw everything at the wall and nothing really sticks. Even with the revive, Red Devil Esports feeling much more comfortable in this situation. Nice ice block as well to keep this point alive for themselves. Pike tried everything that they could. They will turn it at the last moment, but not before. There is a pinch and a half against their bodies. Outer, really nice job on the shots. Pluto with the ult just to cover. This OT just does not feel like it is in their favor.
Yeah, you got to think that it's only a matter of time before this wick will burn out, and indeed it does. Red Devil will secure submap number 1 here on Control. We're blessed with a little bit of a best of 3 within this best of 5, though, and so for Pike, they've got another opportunity. It's back to the drawing board. We saw that tank go from the Sigma over to the Reinhardt, try to get a little bit of a mirror match. I'm not 100% sure it's working just yet, but I'm not sure if it's, maybe the DPS needs to swap a little bit. I feel like they're having a tough time not only breaking this Reinhardt shield, but then when you supplement that Mei, who's getting in the front line, utilizing that wall, putting herself on ice when needed, it's made that time and on that healing a little bit easier. You pop in Soldier, who can heal himself as well, and this team comp just seems to be working for the Red Devils.
Really does, but they will have to take a chance. As you mentioned, there was some swapping over to a mirror matchup, but now Pike going into the station. They shifted it up pretty hardcore. I think they're going with a little bit of the piggy. It will be Foxy in a situation where you're really hoping for the hit scan DPS to do their work. Limey on that Bastion, and the Soldier 76 for that one being the weird spot to be in, as hit scan, they can do well, but the fire rate, the burst ability doesn't really feel like it comes out as fast. We'll see if it works. Once again, Hog doing what they can. They're still kind of pushed away. Red Devils get first turn on this point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Bastion can chip away at this Reinhardt shield and give him an opportunity. We see Outer, though, who just continues to pepper in from these off angles. And for Pike, they just not able to get that pressure out. They can't get a disruption into the back line. And again, they just kind of fall away here, unfortunately losing a member. We see that res come in, which is nice. It keeps them up and on their feet for a little while longer. But Red Devils already secured this point, and unfortunately, they're going to lose another member here. Pike will opt to maybe pressure forward, and now a big risk of staggering in if they do so.
And that stagger can be so difficult in some situations here. This is going to be Pike trying to do their best, but again, Limey goes down. When you have a Mercy that's only healing your tank, you don't really have any extra to give over to anyone else. That'll be a 2 sweep on the back foot, as Red Devil Esports are showing their strength in more ways than one. Dino Lover sweeps 3 off their feet. And it is Red Devil Esports to take that team fight win.
Another big win for them. I mean, it was 100-0 on that first map. We're going to see them already off to a great start here, nearing that 50% mark. And for Pike, they just haven't been able to break through. We see a swap towards Sojourn, which I also like, but they kind of funneled down this main archway here. And so maybe want to consider shifting toward that left, maybe taking a back alley, maybe finding a Reaper or something that could get into the back line, causing this front line to turn around. But they just need something that's a little bit more disruptive here.
Would 100% agree. It doesn't feel like they're, really trying to branch out. Instead, they're just trying to run their head into a brick wall. It's going to be a tough shot there. Outer rips apart 1. Pike lose out on the DPS again. They're going to try the side angle flank. And again, as you said, they tried it once before. It did not work. Out comes a Reinhardt. Wall up. Shatter is not really utilized perfectly, but instead it's the pitch against the wall. And the Blizzard to follow. You are snowed into that corner with no way out. Snow will claim their lives, and Red Devil Esports moved to 90%.
As the blizzard came down, I felt like it was almost Christmas with all the presents that Dino was gifted off the back of that one. And Red Devils, they have not missed a beat here on Control. But hey, you know, like I talk about myself all the time, I love the payload styles. And for me, I'm just not quite as good at Control as I am that payload. So for Pike, they'll get another opportunity as we get ready for Gibraltar. But I mean, they've got to maybe be just a little bit worried after that dominating performance here by Red Devil. We'll take a quick look at the play of the game here from Dino.
I mean, this was, I mean, you just waited. That's all you had to do. It was so clean, and this pinch against the wall had to feel so good as a follow-up. I mean, that's as clean as you can get. And keep in mind, Dino Lover actually had a moment in, I think, round 1 of that as well with a triple earlier on. This is a phenomenal pickup here. Now, granted, when it comes to when it comes to point control, when it comes to these maps of, you know, Control 1 and all, May excels. I do think when we move over to the next map rotation, I think it might be a different story. I mean, May can still do well, but allowing yourself to corral the opponent versus a constant moving platform, it is a little bit different angle to have to work.
What's cooler than cool? It's ice cold. May had it in that one, but you're right. I mean, Gibraltar, it doesn't necessarily suit a May playstyle. Maybe in that second checkpoint where it's a little bit closer corridors and some winding turns, you could potentially separate the tank and find some value there. But I have to agree with you on this one. I think we might see that swap there. But obviously they're going to be feeling comfortable. They've got to be feeling great after that first one. I mean, it's 2 big dominating wins on Control. So it's always nice to get into that driver's seat early. Get yourself a little bit of breathing room to work with in case something does happen. Maybe you have an error or a mistake here or there. So right now, Richmond in the driver's seat. We'll see if Pike can steal it away from him.
Yeah, I think they can. Pike, again, I always say teams, there are some teams that excel in controls, some teams that excel in payload situations, and I will always stand by that factor. Now, the best team obviously can do all of it, but I do feel there are some teams that function a lot better when they have a clear objective, when they're not on offense and defense at the same time. I do want to see if Pike are able to kind of show this up here in Gibraltar. There's a lot of high ground optimizations that you can have, a lot of verticality when it comes to those choke points. If you're running those hit scans, once again, if you're trying to run that Bastion either on offense or defense, you can do quite a bit of work. I mean, Bastion was the OG offensive sit on payload and just roll through back in the day.
Yeah, you know, and as far as the tanks go here as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some with a little bit more mobility. Just because there is so much high ground here. You know, we've seen a lot of divas like to go up and try to knock them off that high ground, Winston, things like that. So, you know, we'll see if they're able to utilize some of that or if we're going to maybe rock with that comfortability pick. Just a few more seconds here before we get ready for this one.
Time to go. See what changes are being made. Dino Lover swapping out here. Just a wee bit. Is that Dino Lover now in a tank? If I'm reading that correctly, that's Domina. And so Dino Lover changing. So Outer, stay on, and Dragonborn on a utility. Okay, so shifting things up. Red Devil Esports maybe playing map specialists instead.
I mean, I love when you have a deep roster, and especially when they can change roles as well. Ice Cream, former tank, now onto the Cassidy. So I think there's a similar situation. I think Limey was maybe on the Echo in the previous one, is now Ramatra. I think Foxy was that tank who's now Reaper. So both of these schools showing that, you know, they have the ability to swap it up on the fly if that's what's needed. So Pike will make some adjustments. We'll see if it's able to pay off for him here. They're going to be starting out on the attacking side. Ramatra up in the front line, and there's that high ground we talked about. They're already posted up there, and it's going to be hard for them to kind of maybe knock them off unless this Reaper can get into that back line.
Yeah, it's Foxy once again, who has shifted out and away from maybe that tank duty, but staying on that Reaper can get you such close quarters access, but you were actually stopped at the doorway, so it's a tough time there. Good push about halfway. Outer gets sniped though. Reaper with a plunge and a half with a Zenyatta. A boop off the side as they're trying to keep that Reaper at bay. What a shot and a half. Good timing by Pike.
Yeah, Dino here. Big pick though, booping the Foxy off the side, and Dino. This is why Domina can be so just frustrating and difficult to deal with. You combine that with the shield. She's very, very strong. Limey looks to power on through, though, and they potentially made their way toward this bridge. They've already gotten under it. If they could find a pick, it would be huge. Unfortunately, it is Outer that finds that first one on the Soldier. So, again, maybe a quick regroup, but it's already some good pressure here this time from Pike.
Yeah, I like what they've done, and not only that, they've enabled a lot of their ultimates to get charged up here. Foxy already went for that Blossom, but Wolfie, now is a chance at that nano boost if you wish, but Pluto, what a shot. Mizuki showing up here, the new hero to play, and that allows for Outer to step in quickly. The Soldier 76 been given a lot of space to play with. Kings up to the top side, though, as someone is spotted out on the enemy side. Wolfie Star trying to keep the teammates healed up. Looks like Pike, even though they do have an ult, don't have the HP bars to play with.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, I like both of these healers, but as Zen and Ana together, I just don't know if that is going to be everything that you need. If only can continue to find picks, though, it just might be. Foxy will find Ice Cream. The tactical visor does come out, and Outer's going to put a hailstorm of bullets downfield. He's found not really a ton of value from it, though, and Pike might have an opportunity to start to pressure forward yet again.
Oh, we do say that, but they need a little bit more of that snipe that you wanted, though. And as you said, perfect timing. Pluto and Outer, there was a moment where the shield double up with a layered boost of the damage was good, but then they get swarmed by the side of Pike. Again, it is the maelstrom of Limey to clear them out. It will be the push forward. Minute and a half left. Well done by Pike. They're looking better and better.
I've always said that there's not much of a better name you could pick than Annihilation for the ult from Ramatra. That's pretty much what it does, is annihilate anything around them. And with that, they're able to find this first checkpoint. They got 350 to work with as well, which is really a ton of time here to work with. So we'll see if they can continue to pressure forward. It is early picks here from Wolfie and that one. So all of a sudden, Pike is starting to have a lot of success here.
I think for them, again, it's this kind of shake-up at the end of the day. It's the shift from identification to maybe a little bit more forward momentum for them. You can see it there. Pike clear way to more. Red Devil Esports, as soon as they got broken through in the first turn, it feels like they never really found their footing once more. Foxy has had so much time to be a menace in the back line. I did mention before that I like this when it's offense defense. When you know which side you have to be on, it does make it easier to seek out the opponent.
Certainly working for them at the moment, but they can't get complacent. They've got to continue to do what's been working for them. They're in close, but contention comes out. Ice Cream has found the first, but Ice Cream, the Deadeye, and he eventually gets 3 for Pike. It is time to regroup. They need to back off and not stagger out. They will do so here. And again, I mean, they've given themselves plenty of time. Still 2:45. You're knocking at the door for some extra time here.
I love that you pull that off. It was a quick snap decision, I think, from Ice Cream, who last time was, of course, on that tank duty. Some around, snapping away kills and making sure that Pike weren't able to sit there very cleanly. They're waiting just in front of the second checkpoint, as that's going to be a little bit of a boost up for the rest of the team. Pike going to do their best. Push as hard as they can. Foxy trying to get a mark, and they do. Ice Cream is down.
Ice Cream going down. Could be big news here for Foxy and the rest of the crew. We're going to see some alts coming out here as well. Dragonborn, the Kitsune Rush dancing around. Outer has found Wolfie, though. Outer's found another, and the tactical visor continues to rain down. He is being a menace. He finds the Quadra as Dino will get the cherry on top. It's a team kill here for Red Devil, excuse me. And after stumbling a little bit, man, it seems like they found their stride.
It took only a moment. Very flexible on those ultimates. I think Outer has always had a very nice penchant for fighting those marks. Earlier, these ultimates have really kind of cleared their name, so Foxy might be looking to do the exact same. That one Bean has theirs as well. Reaper has the ult to deny if they wish. What a catch this time. Foxy tried to TP very, very aggressively, and Ice Cream just makes them pay for it. Without their major DPS, I don't think Pike can get away with it.
It's going to be tough, and Outer's already found that one as well. There's a couple ults on deck, but that one's not going to be able to use it. There's no Transcendence here as well, and the Annihilation will not come out. They've got 1:10. They've got 3 ults. The ult economy is just slightly better here for Pike at this point, but they're going to need to use them. They're going to need to try to get Outer and this crew off the high ground tier as well. They're just really beginning to struggle here with this little choke point.
Yep. And I mean, again, it comes down to that high ground. I think Red Devil Esports have really set up well in this ground. You can see those shield extras. Here comes the Visor once more. Outer just laying into their bodies, but good timing by Reaper this time to cover everyone. Denies that Visor kill, and for Outer, it's wasted, but Ice Cream looking for that Deadeye if you can. Marks 1 and 2 isn't able to land any shots, gives so much space for the rest of Pike to wander on in. A single Zenyatta ultimate has turned the tides in Pike's favor, and not a moment too soon. With 20 seconds left, they give themselves an extra minute 20.
Oh my, yeah, just a little more. I think, yeah, minute 20, so they get, what, minute 40 total now, but that was pretty risky. I didn't know if they were going to be able to make it in. I mean, we saw Red Devil just have one heck of a stop there, and for Pike, I mean, they dig deep, and that's what you need to advance into a playoffs, to look to win championships here. Unfortunately, Outer is still being that arch nemesis. He's found Zen early, which means Limey will go down as well. Pike needs to regroup yet again.
Yeah, but Outer still looking like that menace on the DPS value. Takes out 2 immediately, allows Dino to sweep into that one bean. Tanked DPS gone, or Tanked healer. Pike hold back once more. They got about 2 fights here with maybe 2 ultimates ready to go. Foxy 3% off of theirs. This can be the definitive moment. Pike, can you find the right angle?
Need to find something big. They've got the Annihilation, Reaper, the Death Blossom here as well, and that could bloom into some magnificent plays if he's able to find a way toward that back line. We can see the spread here from Red Devil, though. They are quite split. Unfortunately, not able to take advantage. Dragonborn finds an early one, this time onto Ana, and without a support, your life just gets very, very difficult. The tank will fall. The tactical visor comes out from Outer as well, and Pike is going to have one last opportunity here.
Really smooth by Ice Cream and Outer. I have to give them credit. Their DPS was on point. Pluto as well as the Mizuki, making sure to keep everyone topped up. Dino now at 70% on the ultimate timer. If it goes any longer and it goes into OT, maybe he can work out magic. But Foxy going to the high ground, looking for that Blossom right into the middle. Gets caught on the side, but it don't matter. Wipes him up with Ice Cream! The counter ultas even more, and bye-bye Pike.
The quadra kill from Ice Cream. It's high noon, baby, and that most likely will end up the play of the game if things play out the way that they appear on screen. I mean, it was a great push here from Pike. They stall out just at the end, but I mean, they can still hold Red Devil here.
I think they could. The problem being is Foxy. If Foxy is able to find an angle, that's great. If Foxy isn't able to find an angle, it does feel like Pike get healed back a little bit more. For the Red Devil side, really impressed with how they put the stopper in. They started to recognize that Outer and Ice Cream were not getting the same value until that McCree came out. So very nicely done by Ice Cream to kind of swap over to that single shot. And now you go on the offensive. You have a much more malleable composition. You take a look at what they picked up. I love what we see here. Is that a Vendetta? I think as well. Like, these are heroes that are going to be really annoying. You temper that as well with a little bit more chaos in there on that tank value. Hazard loves getting in the middle of things, rumbling it out. We'll expect Red Devils to not really look for those long sightline picks, instead push their way in, break through Pike's kind of stalwart defense, and just force them away.
Yeah, Venture is another character that has been very devastating. I mean, we're seeing it a lot in the Scholastic, the Collegiate, even some of the pros seeing it. The verticality, her ability to hit multiple targets at once. So Ice Cream was incredibly deadly on the Cassidy, might just be equally so here on the Venture, but it is Wolfie with an early pick onto Outer, and so it's good early plays here from Pike, but consistency is key, and how long can they keep it up?
Consistency can do a lot, but it's a fast push coming out of Red Devils, but they lose Pluto on the back line. Ice Cream ventures straight into one bean. These HP bars are not looking good. Reaper forced out and away. Same with Wolfie, and there's the catch. Well done by Red Devil, winning this first team fight, even if it was a little bit more difficult to close out.
Well, we see Foxy going down to Outer here as well in his Vendetta, and that character is certainly a fun one to watch and play. Dino still doesn't miss a beat, and I mean, doing a great job on previous roles, now showing that they're equally as talented on the tank role here and on multiple different tanks at that. I mean, Red Devil, I don't know how Pike is going to slow him down here. I think we maybe need to see a little swap in the compositions, more so on that support side.
Can I agree with that? Yes. Do I? We'll see how Pike decide to play it. They themselves are saying maybe that's the cause, maybe it isn't. Maybe we just need to get Foxy into a really good spot once more. One being still on that Soldier 76 is danger on the high ground. Foxy, I mean, you are not as... You're not as viable when it comes to this more mid-range shot with those shotguns. You need to get a little bit closer. Limey knocks out Outer. Limey does a second as well. This tank going on a spree as Wolfie follows suit. Red Devils, they get kind of gut punched there and cleanse of their defense or the offense. They will have to stand right in front of that first checkpoint.
We'll see where Pike decides to set up. We saw Red Devil from this side just maintain that high ground here. It doesn't seem to be the case for Pike. They're a bit scattered high and low, and you talk about the mobility here of this Red Devil composition from Hazard to Venture, and that's what we're seeing, this disruption jumping all around. Dino on the Soldier, can't make it out. Zenyatta goes down as well. Wolfie will follow suit. With that, the domino effect in full effect.
You gotta love it. It's as clean as you can get it. Dino with the last little shot to take out Foxy. Not really gonna stagger any of the deaths, but it's enough to push them through checkpoint 2. Very clean work from Red Devil. Not only that, they did it with no ultimates. You can now see all 5 ultimates will be up here for one final push, and they don't have to reach checkpoint 3. They just need to reach a little over 60%. Limey, though, with the absolute melting storm, is able to take out more than just one. Really clean work there. Hunter tries to do the same as the rest of the enemies will fall. Red Devils, they get stopped right in front at checkpoint 2, and I don't think that's what they were expecting.
No, they were hoping to make it there and put that extra time on the clock. We'll see Venture backpedal away here. Limey, damage already done. And with that, Reaper has a Transcendence that's well, now on deck. They've got the tactical visor here for Bean as well. So there's some ults on both sides, certainly favoring Red Devil. And realistically, they only need just a little bit more to add even more time on the clock to that already 3 minutes.
I mean, Ice Cream and Dino Lover knocking on the door with 2 quick ults. Dino Lover will pay the price as Limey bleeds him back, but Reaper with a very late ult in that Transcendence. I mean, maybe he can do something else? Nope, not gonna happen. Outer shuts that down right away. Quick tap, give yourself some more time. 4 minutes to reach maybe another 40 meters or so.
Yeah, certainly not too far to go now. Still 2 ults here for Pike, including that Death Blossom. We saw it get some value here in this same spot in that previous round when sides were swapped, but there's really no one up here for contention, and this is dangerously close. We're gonna see Ramatra get in here in time, but Ice Cream has already found the pick. Foxy, the Death Blossom, does it bloom into something big? They get a single. Dino and Dragonborn battle back though. 2 will fall for Pike. The numbers favor Red Devil, and they will go up 2-0 in the series.
As clean as you could ask for, and have to give credit where credit is due. Pike have utilized this Transcendence each time for the Zenyatta to try and keep them safe and always deal damage back against the opponent. But whenever it's down, it felt like Red Devils had so much space and opportunity. These shots here, just so much free and open time by Outer to just power people down. Look at this, untouched. Nobody decided to lock on, and that free fire is so difficult to deal with when you focus on the front line. So really well done by Red Devils Esports. They did really well in controlling. I was worried, about midway through that attacking side. They pulled through, and they showed that they are the team to worry about.
Yeah, and that's why it shows that team communication is so important. You got to call out where that soldier is. You hear the audio cue of the tactical visor, and it's something that you have to take note of. The fact that Outer was allowed to kind of stand up there and just have a field day does make it tough when you're trying to get something done. But Pike's still not out of it just yet. They are down by 2 in the series. They can't afford another loss here, but we're going to mix it up a bit again. We got Flashpoint. I think New Junk City is coming up next. And so much like Control, I mean, you do have to capture the point. These points capture a lot quicker here as well. So it's going to be, each one of these fights around the point is going to be that much more crucial.
Yep, I'm very, very excited for this one. Again, I'm excited to see Ice Creams may come back out, which I can only assume will happen here. I mean, this is another spot where having that control over the point every so often is going to be massive. I expect a Reinhardt as well. This is going to be painful, I think, when it comes to dealing with the Mei. I really do hope. Like, we've seen some shifts into the hit scan as well. We've seen that Zenyatta try and do some work, but for Pike, you got to find a way to lock down that Mei. That Mei was trouble, and I can only assume it's coming back out. So maybe look to zone the Mei off. Maybe try and keep track of where they're going and cause some problems in there. So on this flashpoint, I want to see quick fights. I want to see strong fights from Pike. If not, Richmond's going to take this thing away 3-0.
Now they're looking to break out the brooms here as we get ready for Flashpoint New Junk City. I think Central Australia is where this lovely map is located, and it's a fun one. I mean, it gives me that Mad Max Road Warrior vibes. So I've enjoyed this map. Flashpoint, I used to be a little bit of a naysayer on. You know, I love my payloads, but you know, they've grown on me over time, and so it's great to see all the different maps from control to flash to payload, because like you said earlier, you know, it doesn't just pay to be good at one thing. And so it really tests the array of skills that these students have. So Pike, one more chance to extend the longevity of this series. Backs against the wall, though. They need a big dub here.
Yes, they do. And I want to see them come out with a lot of fight. I want to see them fight over this first point, because I think the first point is going to really set the tone for how this goes. When I looked at Richmond, when I looked at the Red Devils, they're a very momentum-based team. They know when it's their turn, but whenever they don't have control of the map, it does seem like they falter very heavily. We saw that very specifically when it came to map number 2 on Gibraltar, where we saw them when they lost one of the turns, and we started seeing, I believe it was Ice Cream as well, it was, sorry, my brain does not want to work right now. It was Outer. These two, when they specifically got shut down by Foxy and a lot of those kind of corridor actions, it was actually a pretty bad falter. It was, they started losing a lot of time. They rebounded quickly once the DPS were back up. But it really does go to show how much of an influence these DPS have. So that's what we're watching for. As took a look there on the screen. The other reason why I had a little bit of struggle, I think we saw some player swaps coming in here for map number 3 as well. If I'm looking at Red Devil's side correctly, Big Bear is coming in here as well as Frog.
Yeah, you got Big Bear and Frog, and on the other side, Stellar, actually. So, you know, I think it's great. We see not only these players comfortable swatching roles or different characters, but the fact that they have such a deep roster here as well. Getting all the students involved, getting them a chance to get in a playoff position as well and play in one of these bigger games. I think it's great for them. So I love to see everybody getting involved and having some fun here today. That's what we say. That's the bare minimum requirement, right? Is to get out there and have some fun. So we love seeing our young talent doing that. One more map potentially here for the Red Devils. They look to break out the brooms. Can Pike maybe break out a Pike of their own and fight them off a little bit here? They need this one.
I think they're going to do more than that. We'll see how it rounds out, as going into this map 3, they'll try and do their best. Foxy once again on the Reaper, which can be a stellar status to utilize here. Shielding is gone, and Big Bear on the Pharah. Okay, going much more vertical as well, saying, guys, gotta take to the skies a little bit. There's Flashpoint unlocking intent. Ice Cream already with a shot on the Stellar, and Stellar can't do anything about it. The Malga holding them down.
I mean, with the Malga, you put the Vendetta on Ice Cream in there as well. Plus, you got to worry about the skies. I think, you know, Red Devils come with a game plan, but we've seen some picks back and forth here both ways. Wolfie and that one have both gone down here as well. Limey now onto the Junker Queen, which can be devastating when played well, especially against this Malga. We see Juno trying to keep him topped up for the time being and just able to do so. Red Devil already putting some percentage on the board as they lose Pharah.
I like it. And of course, the fight back is a whole different story. One being able to fire, Wolfie does the same. Red Devil starting to lose members a little bit quicker than they would like. Great snipes to come out here. Does feel like One Bean and Foxy are starting to find their footing. Quick turn, 41%. Now it's Pike to chase that score.
Well, we've seen them at least get some percentage on the board. It's something they struggled with a little bit on that control side of things. And again, this is, you know, these percentages go much faster than control. So If they could win one more fight, that potentially could turn into a win on their side. And, well, you got to get 3 of them here in Flashpoint to get that dub, but it's a good start.
The snipe that you were wanting, quick taps as Limey gets around the corner, takes out Ice Cream, denying any sort of turn. I did say that I want to see that strength, but Limey going down this time. Born trying to do the exact same, turning it on its head with this Juno. What a shot, though, coming out of the far. Big Bear makes a big statement on that elimination, and more to follow as Dino Lover back on that. Reinhardt earns the point in favor of Red Devil just in time.
And on the Ryan, he said it's hammer time, and as far as the point goes, you can't touch this. He is swinging that hammer around and around, and honestly, it's a great swap here. I mean, initially on that Mauga, it can be difficult against someone like a Junker Queen as well. Dino Lover recognizing that immediately. Great game awareness here, makes that swap, and it's something that immediately works for him. Now, realistically, this is probably the last fight territory as far as point A goes, so whoever wins this next big battle should be able to secure that point. Ice Cream already finding the first one.
Now, but they also lose one on the turn, so this is a very back and forth battle. It's all about how many more will you lose in turn. For Pike, they cannot lose more than 2. They need to take out more on the back end. OT currently rounding their bodies. Unfortunately, with one being down, Foxy and Limey are no longer at this world. Ice Cream gets some revenge. Stellar and Wolfie trying to do their best, but they can only heal so much. That will be Flashpoint 1. That is the Red Devil Esports side.
Already putting a point on the board, and it's something that Red Devil is probably pretty used to at this point. They've been pretty confident here today, and I think it's shown on the battlefield. So one foot then the next for them, and well, just 2 points away from match and series point. Pike, they've gathered nearly 5 ultimates on deck and ready to flex here. They need to stagger them out a little bit. They need to win a couple fights in a row. This next point is going to be huge for Pike.
Yep. There's a snapshot, quick to the back. Limey does some major work here. Spear through the body, and Ice Cream answers suit. But honestly, for Red Devil, they've lost so many members here. Pike bringing it to an absolute edge battle. Well played, well caught. That will be first capture by Pike.
First capture. You get percent on the board. Wolfie has found a way to nullify this far from the skies here as well. It's a good turnaround from Pike. They only expend 2 ults to clutch it up here as well, which does mean they've got 3 left in the toolkit here for this next big fight. Still on the Ryan though, Venture. Frog has the Kitsune rush as well, and we might see some of these ults coming out on the side of Red Devil.
I think there can be so much to do here. That's going to be the Orbital Ray coming down, trying to keep everyone topped up thanks to Dragonborn. High to the sky goes Big Bear, and they're going to use this time to try and fry some of that HP off. Stellar sends an Orbital right back, but is it really going to be enough? Stellar gets a lockdown. Dino does the same, though, and it's Pike to lose 4 members. Well played by Red Devils as they once again swoop on in and cut that cap rate at 73.
It's good percentage for Pike, though, and they give themselves a chance to take this next point here. They just got to regroup, win one fight. They've got the tactical visor here as well. You got to be careful of this Earth Shatter from Dino, though. He's been playing around the Rhine and his teammates very, very well. Farah almost has her ult. There's that Earth Shatter, and again, it's 2 early picks that are going to spell problems for Pike. They cannot afford to stagger out at this point. They still have a chance to get back and fight for this possession of B.
They're going to try their best, but Ice Cream had their number. They read the same thing you did and staggered out those blows very, very well. Red Devils force the rest of Pike away. The full retreat and a full revamp. And Pike do. They have no ultimate to play with outside of 1 being, and 1 being, I don't know how safe you're going to be.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, for Red Devil, they've got great team communication. They've got great target acquisition. It seems like the team comms are there. They're pointing out who they need to go after, and they do so. But you talked about Foxy being a shining star. They already find an early pick, but Dino is right there to answer back. He finds a 2-piece. Bean will bounce back. Limey will find one on the Orisa. It is Plaid Stripes in the kill feed, but it's pinned to win. Dino Lover is giving it his all, and Limey is hanging on by a thread. The dance of death around the point, and eventually Big Bear will put Limey in the dirt. Bean, unfortunately, not able to stay alive. We'll see some contention come in, but it's really kind of just, you know, to hold and buy some time at this point. 99% for both of these teams.
Really given time. Now Pike is on the fight. Can they keep this OT running? Foxy finds a beautiful ultimate. That's the death blossom that you're waiting for. Dragonborn and Frogger down. Dino Love is soon to fall as well. Can a Big Bear do something? No, you can't. Limey slices him out of the air. Pike, with the last-minute reversal here on point 2, is able to force away Red Devils, and it's 1-1 here on map 3.
This is great. You talk about fight and determination. You love to see that never say never attitude from such young talent here in Pike. Despite having a first couple tough games, despite being down early in this one here as well, they fight back tooth and nail. They make a phenomenal stand, and now we're all tied up in Flashpoint. Pike has yet to really control the lead in any of these games. That's what we're looking here for this next one.
Now we get a mark a little bit further. Here comes the punch. You know Red Devils are furious that they lost that point. So dang close in their favor. Now because of mark. What a shell out though. Pike blasted into oblivion, it felt like. They did get Ice Cream on the back end. Wolfie Star looking better and better in these engagements. This utility support from Pike really leading the way, but that's the shot that you want and a half. Pike wiped through Red Devil Esports. It will be the turn for Pike on this point 3.
The Terror Surge to the Tactical Visor, and it's a beautiful job here from Pike. I mean, it seems like the beast maybe has been awakened. This team is starting to come alive here. The team synergy, things are beginning to click. Limey on this Orisa has been doing a much better job against and dealing with this Reinhardt as well, but they are dangerously low. The support able to keep him up for the moment. Reinhardt tries to dip in toward the back line. Wolfie's low. Stellar goes down as well. Both supports fall here for Pike, and this could spell trouble.
It's ult versus ult situation. We know these big ticket abilities and these strikes can be devastating. And I feel like that is exemplified in this matchup. Every time we see Pike have, you know, the Death Blossom ready to go, they use it. Whenever Red Devils has something of the sort, they use it. I mean, the Kiriko Gate Rush was powerful to get everyone onto site. So who's actually going to win out here? I really have no idea. Pike, they can bide some time. They can try and build up those ults again, but Stellar Spooks saying, let's just go ham.
He said, hey, enough pitter patter. It's time to get at her, Foxy. But Big Bear and ult from Farah finds 2. They're going to get a 3rd on the back end as well. Limey goes down. It was great success here for Pike. They were beginning to bounce back. They gathered their footing. They were gathering momentum as well. And Red Devil comes in to sweep it away. I don't know if they can get back for contention here without risk of staggering.
I think it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, you gotta sit there and just kind of eat what goes down. That'll be point 2. Red Devil Esports controlling factor here. There was a little hiccup with that second flashpoint. Now Limey is ready to make them cause another mistake. Great snipes on the back and denying a faster rotate from Red Devil Esports. It will get wiped out on their way to point 4, and Pike once again get a chance to stand on point first.
On point first, and they begin to pad that percentage, though. That is the question. And I mean, they did it in that 3rd point, but it just wasn't enough in the end here. They've got the ult of Wolfie, but again, on the other side of things, is Earth Shatter from Dino, who's been almost flawless with it so far. So it's a little bit scary, but again, they've got that early point unlocked, and they're already padding some early percentage. We see that ultimate come out, and already Orisa in some trouble, but they're able to keep Limey topped off. Ice is the first to fall.
Limey has been brutal, but Big Bear falls off the map as well. Forgot where they were boosting. The Reinhardt able to punch out the Orisa, but I mean, that's tank v tank action. Remember, on the point is a whole different story. Foxy drops Dino like a hot sack of potatoes. Red Devil Esports have to back away. This is a newly invigorated Pike squad.
Yeah, I mean, like I saw it earlier. It just felt like the beast had been awakened. And I mean, they're kind of running with it a little bit here. Already up to 70%. Ult economy here is fairly equal on both sides. We see both Frog and Bean, I think, about to come online as that tactical visor now is there. Dino's gone back to the Mauga, though, and now it's just Orisa pushing him away. They're going to keep control for the time being, but Ice has found Bean, and Ice has found another. Stellar goes down as well, 99%, but it does look like Red Devil might just regain capture.
Might be one capture, but we haven't seen Red Devils have a clean hold from 0 to 100 just yet here on Flashpoint. That's what worries me here. Pike building up their ultimate artillery. Armory is being stacked as one Bean has that visor ready to go. Red Devil Esports, they have multiple in turn. Really keep eyes on Big Bear. I think that's where it's going to be. That missile barrage can do work.
Yeah, we saw it find a couple kills earlier. You got the Kitsune rush here as well on this venture. I mean, there's so much in the kit here for Ice Cream. Has already found Foxy and now back into the ground, able to pop up. Orisa again dangerously low in this front line. Dino has already taken out 2 in the back. Frog and Ice Cream will combine for the final 2. And again, Pike, it's just these minor mistakes. They're so close at 99% yet again, but with how fast these points go, I mean, it's going to be tough for them to contend this last one, excuse me.
Yeah, it's a problem. Foxy got taken out very early on, but now you got the ultimate. Now you have the Death Blossom. Are you going to make it? 95 in counting. They have to burst their way in. That's going to be the Terror Surge plus more. Foxy tries their best, but Ice Cream answered back in turn. What a destructive force as everyone gets annihilated. It's a team kill at the end with 2 alive on Red Devil Esports, and they have secured the map 3 for the series.
Beautiful job by Richmond. They'll advance in the playoffs here, but we got to tip our hats to Pike. Despite having a tough early couple games, they turned this matchup into a cinema. They put up one heck of a fight here in Flashpoint as well. We'll give them a big GG's, but it is Red Devils who wins this one. The play of the game, Ice Cream right here at the end, and why that ult is so devastating. It's a big play that leads to series and match point. The Red Devils shut it down. As you said earlier, they have to go on to play that #1 seed.
Yep, that is a dangerous spot, but honestly, if the Red Devil Esports squad can play like they did today, I fully believe they're going to make a very strong stand against Indiana Digital Learning. They were controlled from start to finish. I think they adjusted well too. When it came to map number 2, there were quite a few defensive holds that they did quite well in swapping out to, so they understood a fundamental law of the game. Now, will their skills match up is another thing to question, but I mean, if you're riding high from this matchup, I think Red Devil Esports have a very good shot at, maybe looking at an upset percentage.
Hey, I always love a good underdog story, so we'll be rooting for those lower seeds along the way. But I want to give another shout out to one of our great sponsors here in LANFest. This broadcast here is a part of LANFest's Scholastic Esports program, and it's a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LANFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in both Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, the schools, and all the teams that we cover, but it's your generous donations that make all of that possible. For every $200 raised, that covers the operating costs for an entire one regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate our work and you are able to donate, please scan that QR code on screen and donate today.
Do appreciate every single one of you. Not only that, we want to give a big shout out to those that actually make the leagues possible, which is the players. Players are always coming in and out, playing within the Scholastic field. And for those that maybe are tuning in and wanting to know a little bit more, well, League OS has you covered. LOS Portal or League OS Portal allows players in the Scholastic field to also play esports into college. You're able to search up hundreds of collegiate esports programs at portal.leagueos.gg. Scholarships exist for players, shoutcasters, and more. So list all of your talents, no matter how small. Verified college coaches are searching LOS Portal now to find you and see what you can bring to their college. For IEN students, you can also sign in to manage your prospect profile, where all your stats are automatically updated throughout your matches throughout the season. And again, LOS Portal is free, so don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg and level up your future.
Well, it was a short but sweet day, and as always, it's always a wonderful time getting to be in the booth with you, Orbital. But before we
Yeah.
get going here tonight, need to take a moment to give a huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes, not just here at Indiana Esports Network, but Taylor at Landfest, always producing and observing and putting on such a wonderful show for each of us here today. So, I want to give a big shout out to all the competitors and the players, and of course, everybody hanging out watching us at home, from the teachers to the students to the parents. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. So make sure you hit that follow button down below so you don't miss out on any of the action that is to come. I believe we got Super Smash Brothers Best of 3 going on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, right here, same place, same spot as well. And with that being said, guys, I do hope that all of you have a wonderful rest of your evening.